Jesus is better than anything the world has to offer. Colossians 2 verses 9 and 10 teach us this. Let's read it. It says, "For in him the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily, and you have been filled in him, who is the head of all rule and authority." So in Jesus, in him, the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily. Now, some people say that the Bible doesn't teach us that Jesus is actually God. I don't know what Bible they're reading, because this doesn't leave room for any ambiguity here. It says the whole fullness of deity dwells in Christ. Not like partial deity, like he's sort of God, or like junior deity, like he's like God, but he's not quite God. No, the whole fullness of deity dwells in Christ. What Paul is doing here is he's lifting Christ up still. He's already said great things about Christ, that he's the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creations, that all things were created through him. This whole letter, he's lifting Christ up and saying, hey, Christ is better. And here, he goes to crazy lengths saying the whole fullness of deity is in Christ. Like, you're not going to top that. You're not going to top the whole fullness of deity that is in Christ. And here's why that's such a big deal and why that applies to us. Because you have been filled in him. Now, this is a play on words, right? Filled and fullness, okay? He's tying these two together. The idea that Jesus is full, he's filled up with the whole fullness of deity, that there's no like leftovers that are missing of deity here. No, the fullness of deity is in him, and then Christ fills us up. That Christ is so great, holding the whole fullness of deity, that he alone is the one that is able to fill us, to satisfy us, to complete us. Now, I want you to imagine that someone gives you like a 3-pound steak. And it's like, this is the best thing you've ever eaten. This is an incredible steak. It's not just a bunch of food, but it is delicious. And you absolutely gorge yourself. And you cram the whole thing in. And at the end, you sit back and you're like, oh, I'm full. This is great. Now, what if someone comes up and says, hey, would you like some broccoli? No, I don't want any broccoli. I just ate 3 pounds of steak. And even if I was still hungry, that steak is way better than that broccoli ever would be. Why would I want that broccoli? I'm not going to cram that stuff in when I'm totally full with this delicious steak that I just enjoyed. This is what Paul is saying about Jesus here. If we've received Jesus, we're full. There's no room for anything else. There's no room for philosophies or the empty ideas of the world. There's no room for my own self-made religion, trying to be good on my own. There's no room for sinful desires or a seeking pleasure in ways that are not pleasing to God. No, I'm filled with Christ. With the whole fullness of deity that is in Christ has come to dwell and to live in me and to fill me up. Why would I want anything else? So I want to ask you, are you trying to cram anything else in there with Jesus? Are you recognizing that you are filled with Jesus and satisfied in him? Or are you trying to find some broccoli over here to shove in there with Jesus? What I mean is, are you looking at the things of this world and seeking satisfaction and looking at something in this world that's going to make your life better than Jesus can make it on his own? If you've received Jesus, you've been filled with something that is greater than anything this world could ever have to offer. Let's not look to live our lives in a way that we're trying to fill ourselves up or to satisfy ourselves with anything other than this incredible gift of the whole fullness of deity dwelling bodily in Jesus, filling us up and satisfying us.